Gajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palasara Pakshitam Uma Sutam Shoka Vinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambam Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Maddanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum Sarpa Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Om Sri Matre Namaha Om Sri Annadhaya Namaha Om Sri Vasudhaya Namaha Om Sri Sachamara Ramavani Savyadashchana Sevitaya Namaha Om Sri Kataksha Kinkari Bhuta Kamala Koti Sevitaya Namaha Om Sri Shiva Shaktya Aikya Rupinye Namaha Om Sri Lalitambikaya Namaha Om Sri Shantananta Avaduta Sadgurave Namaha Om Shakti Om Parashakti Om Shakti Om Shakti 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 Om Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva. Namaskaram to all. Welcome to session number 11 in the Sanatana Dharma Lalita Sahasranamam series under the Vande Vidya Shankaram program of Sringeri Vidya Bharati Foundation North. At the very beginning, let me wish you a very happy Subhakruti New Year. You know, all Subhakruti means the year that bestows auspiciousness and good fortune. Subha itself means auspicious. But the Hindu calendar is a unique cycle of 60 years and is named from Prabhava to Akshaya. You know, it keeps cycling, unlike the English New Year, which has a number. The term Samvatsara is a Sanskrit word for year. Yugadi itself means the start of Yuga. The Yugas of periods began when Guru, Jupiter, and Shani, Saturn, were at 0 degrees with the Aries sign of zodiac. So Jupiter takes 12 years, and you know there is a cyclic motion of the planets around the sun. And if you take the lowest common multiple between the motion of Jupiter and Saturn, which is approximately 12 years and 30 years, we get the count of 60. So that is how the cycle is 60 years, it keeps repeating. And Panchangam, which we refer to as our almanac, is a part of our heritage in Sanatana Dharma. It is far more complex than the simple, what you call Gregorian calendar, normally used in the West, what we use here also. Panchangam, a Sanskrit word, means 5 limbs, which refers to the fact that every Panchangam includes 5 basic elements. Tithi, the lunar day, Nakshatra, Karana, Yoga, and Vasaram, which is a day, big day. You know, it speaks of the tremendous astronomical and astrological knowledge of our ancestors. In some of our villages that I know, the Panchangam used to be announced at every home every day by a family member. The family practiced only Panchangam, Patanam. And many temples also today follow the age-old practice of Panchanga Patanam, you know, the Shravanam and Patanam. Somebody reads the Panchangam to provide forecasts for eclipse, weather, monsoon, transit of planets, astrological implications, and general trends with respect to economy, political scenario, etc. This is a age-old, century-old custom which has been going on, and in US also, I believe some temples have the Panchanga Padalam. Now with COVID-19 receding sort of all over the globe, and international flights being resumed also to normal levels, let's look forward to a very healthy, peaceful, and prosperous year ahead. Now, a quick look at our last session 10. I had covered up to slokams 113 and Nama 558. And I had also pointed out the similarity between Lalitha Devi and Lord Krishna, and also between Lalitha Sahasranamam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We started with the Nama number 514, Mooladaram Bhujaruda, which is slokam 106, and ended with Nama 558, Kamalaksha Nisevita. In all, we covered about total of 45 namas in the last session. The essence of session 10 was the comparison of Lalitha Sahasranamam with the science of yoga, and explained the terms like yoga, prana, nadis, and chakras, which are fundamental elements that relate to our body. As I mentioned, starting from Nama 542, Punyakriti, Slokam 111, 111, we entered into a very long part of Lalitha Sahasranamam called Vibhuti Vistaram and Marga Bedam. It bears a lot of similarity with what is said from the 10th chapter of Vibhuti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, leading up to chapter 18 of Moksha Sannyas Yoga. There is a lot of similarity, and as we go along, you will see that similarity. Now, let's picturize Ambal in our mind and recite the Dhyana Slokam. I'm going to switch the slide to Dhyana Slokam. Let's see that. Okay. Sindhurarna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikamaudi Spurate Tara Nayaka Sekaram Spitamuki Mapina Vachorugam Panibhyam Malipurna Ratna Sasakam Rakthot Phalam Bibratim Saumyam Ratna Gadastarakta Charanam Jayet Paramambikam Arunam Karuna Tarankitachim Disapashankoja Putpavana Chapam Animadviravrtam Mayukaihi Ragamitteya Vibavihe Bhavanim Dayet Padmasanastam Vikasitavatanam Padmapatrayatakshim Hemabam Pidavastram Karakalitali Satyeva Padmambarangim Sarvalankarayktam Tatatamavetam Bhaktanam Ram Bhavanim Sri Vidyam Shantamurtim Sakalasurnatam Sarvasampat Pradatrim Sakunkuma Vilepana Balikuchumbakasturikam Samantahasitechanam Sasarachapa Pashangusham Asesha Janamohinim Arunamalya Pushambaram Japa Kusuma Basuram Japa Vidos Marhetambikam. So we have picturized Ambal in our mind. In the last session, there was a request from Shri Somasundar to add the Nama numbers also in the summary chart of what we covered. So I have done that job, and I want to show you that slide which has the Nama numbers on the right side. So anybody can stop or pause the YouTube video and take a picture of it and keep it. This has been done to help our viewers correlate the slokams with the namas and also what are the contents in that particular part. So the 14 parts I have put on the left side, and a second column gives you the slokams, number of slokams. The third one gives you the contents. The fourth one gives the namas, totally covering 541 namas. So that is the chart I wanted to share with you. Now today, before we go on to the meanings of namas, I want to say something on reciting Lalitha Sahasranamam, and also what Bhaskaraya, our great guru, says about the benefits of reciting it. You know, we covered a lot about chakras in our last session. Ambal is called Sri Chakraraja Simhasaneshwari. In fact, in one of the sessions, there was a song on that one. Sri Chakraraja Simhasaneshwari Sri Lalitha Ambikaye Bhuvaneshwari Sri Chakraraja Simhasaneshwari Sri Lalitha Ambikaye. A very beautiful composition. Believed to have been composed by Sage Agastya himself, you know. It has got Sanskrit and also Tamil, both. So, the Chakra Raja includes all the 9 chakras beginning from the Bindu. The path of Yoga Sadhana, constituting various chakras, namely Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Visuddhi, Ajna, Sahasrara, is extensively described in Lalita Sahasranamam. Because the 1000 names of Ambal contain the secret of chakra and of mantra, Lalita Sahasranamam is well known as the 1000 secret names, Ragasya Nama Sahasra. As I said before, each name is a mantra. The Bhaskaraya quotes extensively, and he quotes Devi Bhagavata Purana, which says Devi has countless names, which have been composed by Brahma and other devatas according to her different qualities and activities. What more do we want? Brahman itself is Shabda or sound. And some names here are used to correspond with the different states of human beings, jivas, such as, you know, Vishwarupa, she is the jiva in the waking state. Taijasa, Devi is the jiva in the dreaming state. So some names signify, you know, the attributes of jiva, such as, you know, Malini means bearing garlands. Some signify immovable things, such as Mahi, which refers to the earth. Some are attributes of qualified Brahman, like Mukunda. Some indicate different aspects of Devi, such as Rama. Some denote the actions performed by her in various incarnations, avatara, such as fighting with Bandasura. Some denote the unconditioned Brahman, such as Param Jyotis. In this way, many other meanings of the names are to be made out. So Bhaskaraya asks questions and answers. You know, our Sanatana Dharma encourages you to ask questions. Everywhere there are questions and answers, and Bhaskaraya also asks questions and answers is also. He says, one objector might say, this particular collection of 1000 names is useless. But all words, sabdas, in one way or another denote Brahman. So he answers this. Among all other names by which the great old man, you know, the sages who are the devotees of Devi, praised her and fulfilled whatever objects they wanted, Devi declared to be endowed with power and capable of conferring boons, those particular names. So the devotees themselves bless the names. Such names alone, they are collected and arranged into 1000. There have been, of course, more than 1000, but only those names which are effective and proven to give benefit to such sages have been collected and made into a collection of 1000 names. Though the same is common to all collection of 1000 names, there are so many Sahasranamas, this one is considered superior to the rest and been accepted by many great men because it quickly gets the reward which cannot be gained by the use of other collection of 1000 names, and for many other reasons. So, according to the objects in view, the powers are different. By repeating such names, the corresponding results are obtained. Whatever power belongs to a name it is effective in that sphere. For example, Bhaskaraya says, Annakamo Annadaya Nama iti Paddo Bandamochani Nama iti Japete Annakamo Annadaya Nama iti. One who desires food should repeat the name Annada, because Annada gives you food. One who desires wealth, for example, the name Vasudha is repeated. One is scared, afraid, repeats the name Bhayapaha, which is the remover of fears. One who is in jail, he wants to get released. He has to repeat Bandha Mochani, the liberator from bondage. The Vayu Purana gives a common effect of all names. One should repeat baby's name, whether you are in a forest or in water, on dry land, in places where you get scared by animals, tigers, wild animals, or robbers, in all diseases. That the name Devi should be continually repeated when walking, sleeping, standing, and eating. Thus doing so, the person liberates himself from bondage. This is quoted from Vayu Purana. He also quotes Vamakeshwara Tantra, which says, if a devotee thinks in his mind one single name of ours, of Devi, in that moment he knows the chakra of the mother. This indicates that mere mental repetition of our names confers one the boons even up to the knowledge of the chakra. Again, one more question Bhaskaraya raises. One might say, in the Paraswati chapter of a work, it's invariably said, whatever desires you get by reading the book in question. Then what is the use of saying that one will be relieved if he repeats a certain name, like, oh, remover of all diseases? The answer is, though, that each name produces a result corresponding to its power, yet it may also produce a general result. But Devi says, one should always repeat these 1,000 names to please me, and by my grace, one will undoubtedly get all his desires, not only constricted to that particular sphere on which the name is, but also other desires. Thus, according to the scriptures, any of the names of Devi may be repeated. If anyone desires a particular object to be fulfilled, he must invoke the goddess by the corresponding name. For example, somebody wants to get married. Kameshabad Mangalya Sutra Sobhita Kantara. That's a name. The Mangalya Sutram is important. So, for fulfilling marriage, he can repeat that. Those who are having problems related to health, they can repeat Sarva Vyadi Prasamani, Sarva Mrityu Nivarani. So, this is how the names have effect but particular desired objects, but also it gives you general benefits. So, in conclusion, if any worshipper invokes Devi by any particular name such as Annada, he will soon obtain the corresponding result. And in mantra form, each namam is said individually, preceded by Om and followed by Namaha. When chanted in mantra form, the endings of the namam are generally A or I. Like, for example, Om Shri Matre Namaha, Matre Namaha, Ye. Om Shri Lalitambikayai, I Namaha. The mantra form is commonly used to recite Lalitha Sahasranamam during Archana. Both ways, they are equally effective. Okay, now we will move on to Slokam 114. Yes, it is 114. And Nama is 559. Okay, as usual, I'll recite the Slokam and then start with the meanings. Tambula Purita Mukhi, Tadivi Kusuma Prabha, Brigachi Mohini Mukhya, Bridani Mitra Rupini. The very first Nama is Tambula Purita Mukhi, 559. It means Ambal is having her mouth full of tambulam, called beetle in English, Pan in Hindi, Vettalai in Tamil. Let me explain the importance of Tambulam. It is an ancient tradition which is prescribed in Sanatana Dharma. So not very much practiced in the US, but in India it is still very much there. Tambulam is usually given a supari called Vettalapaka in Tamil. They are offered as a mark of respect. And at auspicious events in all traditional Indian culture, any function you go, this is offered as a mark of respect. According to Hindu scriptures, this leaf was obtained by the gods during the Amrita Manthan, churning of the ocean for Amritam. Thus, it is used in every puja ritual and given to guests after a meal. All important events like weddings. In India, many restaurants also offer you pan. In pujas, we offer the Vettalapaka after Naivedyam. We say, Puki Pala Samayuktam Nagavalli Dalainatam Karpur Churna Samyuktam Tambulam Pratikirikyatam, isn't it? Puki Palavi is a Sanskrit word for betel nut and supari. Nagavalli Dalam. Nagavalli Dalam is the betel leaves. In addition to the importance, religious importance, betel leaves have very good medicinal property also. It's called Tambula Nagavalli, Vettalai in Tamil. Vettalai because it is just just leaf. The plant does not have any flowers, so it's called Vettalai. The leaf is also used as a remedy against various diseases. If you have a digestive problem, they give you Vettalai. I have seen in my younger days, my grandma or mother used to use Vettalai for many things. And there are different kinds of pan, like Mita pan, Banarasi, Calcutta, and so on. In fact, when I used to visit government offices in North India on business, some of the officers used to offer me pan instead of offering me tea, They will order, Are saapke liye pan mangao, They'll offer you pan. So this is got a lot of importance. And in Lalitha Sahasranamam itself, it is referred to in another Nama. I think it's Nama 26. Karpura Vitika Moda Samagarti Digandara Karpura Vitika Moda. Karpura Vitika is a combination of various ingredients. We put along with Vettalai, Supari, and other stuff. So Ambal actually attracts devotees with the fragrance of Tambulam. So legends indicate, Devi blessed many devotees with betel juice. Many of you might have heard about the famous poet Kalidas. No, it is believed he got his wisdom from Kali, who wrote with the juice of her betel leaves on his tongue. He was not allowing Kali to come inside the temple. And Kali said, please allow me. He said, no, give me wisdom. Then she said, okay, show me your tongue. When he showed the tongue, she took out the juice from her mouth and wrote on it. And he then became the most brilliant poet in the court of Vikramaditya, Ujjain. The very first, after he got the very first slokam he composed was Shamala Dandakam. So Dandakam is poetry where some of the lines have more than 26 syllables, It very much resembles a prose. It's kind of a one single long sentence like Manikyavinam Uparalayam Madalasam Banjulabak Vilasam Mahentra Bilat Jutiko Malangim Pasankakanyam Manasasmarami starts the Shamala Dandakam. So in this, Kalidasa describes Ambal as Sambula Puritamihi. Some of you who know that they know this particular line. Sarva Vishwatmike, Sarva Siddhyatmike, Kalike, Muktamanta Svitodara Bhaktaspurat, Puga Thambula, Karpura Gandotkare, Jnana Mudrakare, Sarva Sampatkare, Patpapaptatkare, Srikare. It's a beautiful Dandakam. Puga Thambula, Karpura Gandotkare. That is the description given by Kalidasa. Because Ambal has got her mouth full of betel leaves, fragrant with areca nut, camphor pieces, and she sports the Jnana Mudra on her hand, and she showers riches, and whose hands are so beautiful and soft like the lotus. Padma Vasta Jnana Mudra Kare, Sarva Sampat Kare, Padma Baspat Kare, Sri Kare. Padma means lotus, His hands are beautiful and soft like the lotus. It's also believed, the great Tamil poet Kalamegam, you must have heard. He also got his poetry skills through Ambal's betel leaf juice. It's not only in Lalitha Sahasranamam, Sundaresan. Sundaresan is a very great composition by Adi Shankara. And in verse 65, he mentions about Devas receiving Devi's partially chewed tambulam as prasadam. Ranejitva daityan pagrta sirasraihi kavichibihi nivrittai chandam cha trupurahara nirmalya bimukaihi vishakendropentraihi sasivisada katpura sakalaha Viliyante bhatastava vadana tambula kavalaha. Adi Shankara speaks of the grace of Ambal to Devas. There was Devas defeated as Asuras, and Adi Shankara says, "Oh mother, after they have victory over the Asuras, the Devas came rushing to see you, removing the helmets and kavachas, and they prostrated before you. At that time, they ignored the Shiva Nirmalya. Shiva, after he eats, the Nirmalya is given to Chantikeshwara. Remnants of puja and worship of Chantikeshwara. They completely ignored it and they rushed in to see Devi. And Skanda, Vishnu and Devendra, they took the remnants of your half-chewed tambula with white camphor bits. Vishakendro pendraihi sashi visada karpura sakalaha viliyante matastava vadana tambula kabalaha. That is the reward that Devi grant to those that have won her grace. The half-chewed tambulam is the prasadam for the Devas. So, that is the greatness of Ambal's Tambula Purita Mukhi. Just one word, Tambula Purita Mukhi. It has so much of implication. And this is so important in our culture and Sanatana Dharma, offering Tambula, because Devi herself blesses it. Today it may be a forgotten thing, but it must be revived. At least in functions, after the meal is served, the Tambula must be served. It helps the people, and it is a very auspicious thing to offer that. Okay, let's, I think, move on to the next word. The mantra is called Dadimi Kusuma Prabha. Dadimi refers to what? The pomegranate fruit. You call it anar in Hindi, Badulai in Tamil. Kusuma Prabha. Kusuma is flower, Prabha is for shine. Kusuma Prabha means that which shines like a flower. Which flower? Dadimi, the flower of pomegranate flower. You must have seen that, pomegranate itself is a beautiful fruit. But if you see the flower, the colors range, from kind of brilliant red to kind of orange, It's such a hue color. So Ambal is having the hue of pomegranate flower. Now the Vedas consider this fruit with its inner treasure of edible seeds, It's a symbol of fertility and prosperity. It is known for its healthful qualities too. So here it is the description of Ambal's color, that it resembles that of pomegranate flower. Dadimi Kusuma Prabha. Mrigakshi. Mrigam. People generally call Mrigam as animal, but here it really refers to a fawn. A fawn is a young deer with beautiful eyes. You must have seen the little fawn in some zoos, it's a beautiful one. Mriga refers to the fawn. Akshi means eyes, like Meenakshi, Kamakshi, Akshi's eyes. So Mrigakshi means one who's having fawn, the eyes of fawn. They are so beautiful. It refers to Mrigakshi. Next is Mohini. Mohini itself means enchanting Devi. Bhaskaraya quotes, the Laghu Naradiya Purana. It says, because, oh beautiful one, Devi, this whole universe is enchanted with you. Your name shall be the enchanting one, which is derived from its own qualities. The story of Mohini is well known. Many people know it. At the time of Samudramanthan, the churning of the ocean, Vishnu assumed the form of Mohini to divert the attention of the Asuras. Bhaskaraya quotes the Brahmanda Purana, which says, as a result of Brahma's meditation, there first appeared to him Shakti, who is called Prakriti, the one who fulfills the desires of all gods. That was the very first appearance of Shakti as Prakriti. Her second appearance, which caused enchantment, which won mind and speech, was during the Samudra Manthan. Seeing which, even Lord Shiva was captured, he was enchanted. That form, which was obtained as a result of meditation, which was marvelous, meditating with the mind on that Mohini form, you will be emancipated. That is the quoting from Brahmanda Purana. So Mohini was an avataram during the Samudra Manthan, and Ambal is called Mohini, one who attracts. The next term is Mukhya. Mukhya means important, the very first. Most important or the first. A very common word. In Tamil also we say Mukhyam. So Bhaskaraya, he cites Taittiriya Upanishad, which declares, Agam Asmi Pratamaja Ritasya. I am more ancient than the effulgent gods, for I am the first born of truth. So that is the meaning that Mukhya is the very first. Ambal is the very first. The next one is Nama 564, Mridani. What is Mrida? Mrida is another name for Shiva. So Mridani is the wife of Mrida. It comes from the root, Mrid, which means to be pleased or delighted. Mrida means giver of happiness. Who is Paramashiva? No, Shiva is pleased instantly. That's why he is called Asutoshi. Bengalis use the first name as Asutosh. You must have heard Asutosh Mukherjee, Asutosh Banerjee, and so on. Asutosh means one who's pleased instantly, which refers to Shiva. The next one is Mitra Rupini. Mitra itself means friend, isn't it? Mitra Rupini is, she is having the Rupam of a friend. But Mitra also refers to the sun. It's a very common surname used amongst Bengali Hindus and also some in UP. Mitra refers to the sun. Those of you who do Sandhya Vandanam daily, it comes in the Surya Upasthanam, Pratakala, which prays to the Surya God. Om Mitrasa Sasnedritaha Shravo Devasa Sanasim Satyam Chitrasya Vasamam Mitron Janan Yateti Pradhanam Mitro Dhatara Prithvi Mudatyam Mitraha Kriti Ranipi Chapi Shashte Satyaya from Tat Videma Prasamita Vasto Astu Praiswanias Aditya Na Hanyate Na Jiyate Toto Nainamum Agamho Astroyantito Nadurat. It's a Pratakala Surya Upastaram. In this prayer, we worship Surya to get blessings from that Supreme God for our longevity and happiness. In the same way, we should worship Ambala's Mitra Rupini, or universal friend, to receive our blessings. Okay, that completes the first verse, 114. Now we go to the next one, verse, slokam number 115. Nityatripta Bhakta Nidir Niyantri Nikileshwari Maitra Divasa Nalabhya Mahapralaya Sakshini. Nityatripta. Tripti means contentment. Tamil also we see Tripti, right? Nityatripta means eternally pleased, always contented. There is no dissatisfaction. Tripti is an inner state of peace and contentment. It's a state of joy and satisfaction, regardless of pleasure, pain, gain, loss, prosperity, or poorness. Once I asked my father, when he was in early 80s, how would you like to lead your life again if you are given another janma? And he replied, I would like to live the same way as I have lived in this life. I don't want any change. So that was the level of contentment he had with his life. It really gave me a lesson, it taught me a lesson. See, a person is so contented with himself. That is what Nitya Tripta means. You are always contented. In yoga, it is practiced as a nema and with a positive mind. Only when you have, discontentment or dissatisfaction, trouble start. But when you are contented with anything, there is no problem. Nitya Tripta. Bhakta Nidhi. Ambal is a treasure for the devotees. Bhakta Nidhi. Very easy to understand. Bhakta Nidhi. Niyantri. Niyantri means, a guide. Ambal is a guide of the universe. She is guiding us. So she's called Niyantri. Nikileshwari. Some women have the name as Nikila. Nikilam, Akilam means universe. Nikileshwari means she is the supreme goddess of the universe, the ruler of all. The next mantra is Maitra Divasa Nalabhya. Maitra comes from Mitra. Ambala's name was Maitri. Vasanalabhya. She is attained by those who have intense desire for friendship or by the idea of cheerfulness. Bhaskaraya says there are four kind of ideas or qualities. One is friendship, the other one is compassion, third one is complacency, and fourth one is indifference. These are all applying respectively to the people who are happy, the miserable, the virtuous, and the sinful. And Devi is one who is attracted by the idea of cheerfulness and somebody who has an intense desire for friendship. When you meet people, some people you feel very comfortable dealing with, you get instantly attracted, you feel comfortable, and then, you feel like talking with them. There's also the other kind where you meet somebody, you have an instant repulsion. There is a negative force. So you start moving away because they start telling their tales of woes and make you also miserable. That is not required. So you should meet with people who have positive thinking, positive attitudes, who are cheerful, no matter how they are inside, but at least externally they show cheerfulness. Enthusiasm, there is nothing, no substitute for that. So, Maitriyadi Vasana Labhya, Ambal has that instant desire for friendship. Mahapralaya Sakshini. Mahapralaya means the great dissolution, no? Sakshi. Sakshini is witness. Witness to Mahapralaya. You know, in the Lalita Sahasranamam Sutra, Shakti is mentioned as Mahatandava Sakshini, Mahapralaya Sakshini. She is witness to Lord Shiva's Mahatandavam. Also witness to the Mahapralayam. In the end of everything, only what remains is the consciousness, which is Lord Shiva, and energy, which is Goddess Shakti. Oh, they only remain, nothing else. So Lord Shiva, he performs the great dance, the Tandavam, Mahatandavam, at the end of all the worlds. And Ambal is the only witness to it. The end of everything, that is the end of all worlds, it is the occurrence of the great deluge. After the great deluge, the universe is again created. You know, she is also Vishwasakshini. Even in Christianity, the story of Noah's Ark and the great flood is one of the most famous from the Bible. There is also a similar story, you know, of the flood and Noah's Ark carrying the people away. And it is quoted in the Bible itself. So there is something in common. The goddess Lalitambika is a witness to this great dissolution of the great flood, Mahapralaya Sakshini. And Bhaskaraya adds, you know, Brahma, Vishnu and others all perish at the time of the dance of Shiva. Ambala alone was the witness. So it is said there, bearing the Pasa Angusham, you know, the noose and the elephant hook, the bow of sugarcane, Ichu, Kandam, and the arrow of flowers, 5 flowers here. Ambal's form alone remains victorious, witnessing the dance of the divine Parabhairava at the dissolution of the universe. So this is the meaning of Mahapralaya Sakshini. Let's move on to the next verse, which is 116. Parashaktihi paranishta pragyana ganarupini madvipana lasamatta matruka varna rupini. Parashaktihi. Para means superlative, like in Parameshwaran. Parashakti is the supreme energy, nothing above that. You cannot have something above that, supreme energy. No, Bhaskaraya, he offers different interpretations of what is Parashakti. He says, in the body, the 10th elementary substance or dhatu, what we have in our body, it is called Parashakti. And he is quoting Kamika Agama, which says, skin, blood, flesh, fat and bone, these 5 substances, they are derived from Devi. Marrow, semen, breath, vitality, Jiva, 4 substances, they are derived from Shiva. Thus, you have the body consisting of totally 9 substances, derived from 9 origins. The 10th substance alone is called Parashakti. This is quoted by Bhaskaraya in the Kamika Agama. He also says, the Svetaranya Upanishad, he's quoting that Upanishad, says, his supreme Shakti is known in different forms. And he's quoting also Linga Purana, which says, whatever energy is attributed to any substance, that is Devi, the ruler of all energy substance is the great Shiva. Those substances which possess energy are the manifestations of Shiva. The wise recognize the energies in substance to be Devi. Or Paramantra is also called Parashakti. So, these are the interpretations given by Bhaskaraya on what is Parashakti. Next mantra is Paranishta. It's a name. Paranishta means end, Ambal is the supreme end. Or Paranishta is also a certain kind of knowledge, which is the goal of all desires and goals. There are different stages to reach this end. Now, there is some philosophy behind this, Paranishta. The senses we have, they dissolve into mind. And mind itself dissolves into buddhi or intellect. And buddhi dissolves in Atman. And reaching this state and realizing the Atman is called Paranishta, which is the ultimate. Bhaskaraya is quoting a verse from Bhagavad Gita. It is in chapter 4, verse 33. It says, Shevan Rabhyamayad Yajna Yajnayana Yajnaparantapa Sarvam Karma Kilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. O Partha, addressing Arjuna, all kinds of actions end in knowledge. What kind of knowledge? That kind of knowledge which is described in Sutta Gita. It is quoted again by Bhaskaraya. He says, convinced by instructions derived from various scriptures from preachers, that he himself, the witness of all, his mind becomes fixed, knowing the whole which appears different from self as his own self. Again, fully convinced by his own experience that he himself is a pure, non-dual Brahman, merging that conviction in his own consciousness, which is unchangeable, non-dual. Knowing that even that merging of the nature of thought, Chitta Rupa, he should remain as absolute. This ascetic is indeed the best of those who know Brahman. This is the highest end, the result of teaching from various scriptures and experience. So here, the Paranishta is the ultimate goal, which is Ambal, the ultimate goal. So Nama 574, the next one, Prajnana Gana Rupini. Ambal is a personification of knowledge and consciousness. Pra, again, superlative means superior. Jnana is the eternal wisdom. And Gana, which is concentrated, meaning not contaminated by avidya or ignorance. In other words, concentrated knowledge. Some learned pandits are called Ganabadis. When I was a kid, I used to think the local Ganabadi was a well-built man. So I thought Gana means, the heavy one. But later I learned I was wrong. It is not referring to the weight. It is mean that they are learned in the Vedas to the extent of chanting the Vedas in the pattern called Ganam. When you listen to a Ganabadi reciting Vedas in Gana form, he repeats the syllables in various ways, back and forth in different patterns. I can't recite a Ganam, but one of my friends can. It is very pleasant, not only to the ears, it creates sense of happiness. And it generates a great feeling. You're transporting us to new heights. So this Ganam is a very difficult exercise, and it is very difficult to master it. The people who master it called Ganabadis. In fact, Kanchi Periva once held a contest in one of his forums long ago, and he asked some people to recite certain Ganams. Out of 200 people, only 5 passed. So that was the extent to which the skill is there. So this natural grandeur of Veda mantras is kind of augmented manifold, No, this chanting requires very superior knowledge. So it's also Prajnana Gana Rupini. The Brihadaranya Upanishad also is quoted by Bhaskar Raya. He says, just as the taste of a quantity of salt is neither inside nor outside but everywhere, this self is neither within nor without, but is full and concentrated knowledge. So you have a little glass of water and you put salt into it, it is everywhere in the water. The same way, the self, the knowledge is not at one point, either within or without, but it is full of concentrated knowledge. So that is Prajnana Gana Rupini. Next one is Madhvi Ana Lasa. Madhvi is referring to grape juice, this wine. Ambal is wary of drinking wine. And the next word is Matta, which means cool, intoxicated. In Tamil also you have Matam. Matam means, of course, somebody who's out of his mind, like Matam Pudujayanam, That means it is not in normal sense. It is kind of intoxicated. Matrika Varna Rupini. Lalitha is also known as Matrika Devi. The letters of the alphabet in Sanskrit called Aksharam. Ambal, if you look at her, he shows Akshamala. The mala, it's like Rudra bead, it's called Akshamala, which is the form of Matrika letters. And it is said that Matrika letters are also called colors. That's why it's called Matrika Varna Rupini. In Sanskrit, you have 36 consonants and 15 vowels, totally 51. The combination of the 15 vowels are called the Nityas, and the consonants, the 36 tattvas, they produce all the sound, all mantra, all vibrations, all word, all music. Akshara means a letter in Sanskrit. It's got 3 syllables, A, Sha, and Ra. A, Sha, and A is the first letter, Sha is the middle one, the last letter is R. Ra is the Lord of Ishvara, Shiva who supports them. Together they are known as Matrika Chakra. Chakra means the wheel of Matras. Matrika Chakra is a wheel of creation, which is filled with vibrations or waves of energy. Akshara also means imperishable, not destroyed, not indestructible. It represents the Nada form, sound form of Shiva as Ishvara. It's called Akshara Brahma, who has Prakriti or Parashakti as his dynamic force. Now, if you reverse the syllables of Akshara, it means Raksha. Raksha means also protection. Shai Shakti. So Shiva, along with Parashakti, Raksha, Ra is Shiva, Shai is Ambal, acts as a protecting and upholding force. The same protective force is hidden in the Aksharas, the letters, and the sacred chants or mantras which protect us from Rakshasas. See the similarity, Aksharas and Rakshasas. There is a big difference. So each letter in the Sanskrit alphabet contains a Shakti as its presiding deity. So when it is uttered, the Shakti manifests and travels through space of Shiva to produce vibrations. So Bhaskaraya here adds, Matrika letters from A to Ksha have colors. What are those colors? The Tantras kind of differ on that one. The Sanat Kumara Samhita says, vowels beginning with A are smoke-colored, Ka and others are red, Da to Fa are yellowish, the 5 letters Ba are crimson, and the last letters are of the color of lightning. So there is a difference in different sastras about the colors for different letters. But anyway, the 51 letters are a form, Varna, and the Rupa, just as the Supreme Shiva is twofold, Shakti and Shiva. This Matrika Shakti Devi also shines in two. The vowels indicate one form of Shakti. The consonants indicate another form of Shakti, which is Shiva. So together, Devi of Vidya, under the form of letters, indicates Shiva. So that is the meaning of Matrika Varna Rupini. It appears in different colors. Going further to the verse number 117. Maha Kailasa Nilaya Mridala Vidudorlada Mahaniya Daya Murtir Maha Samrajya Shalini. Amba is said to be residing in the great Kailasha, Maha Kailasha, which is a place far beyond the present known Kailasha. Mridala Vidudorlada. Mridala, some people have name as Mridalini. Mridala. Mridala refers to, if you take the lotus through the stem, it has got very slender stem. And Mridu is soft. Mridu, in Tamil also we say Mridu. So Lata refers to a creeper. Ambal has got arms like a creeper that are soft as a lotus stem. Mahaniya. Mahaniya is worthy of worship or illustrious. Dayamurti, very simple to understand, is a personification of mercy. Maha Samrajya Salini. Samrajyam is something which is very big. Resplendent with wide Maha Samrajyam. Lalita Sahasranamam begins itself with Maharajyam. So she is the Maha Samrajyam is owned by her. If we go to, I think next one, Maha Samrajya Salini, we go to the next slide, which is Slokam 118. Atma Vidya Mahavidya Sri Vidya Kama Sevita Sri Sodasakshari Vidya Trikuta Kama Kotika. Atma Vidya. We have many names ending with Vidya here. They indicate different science or knowledge. Yajna Vidya, which means Yagams. Guha Vidya, which is secret mantras. Upasana Vidya, which is referring to rituals. Finally, Atma Vidya, realizing the self itself as Brahman. There are different kinds of Vidya. So here we say Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya is spiritual knowledge, which means the 8-syllable mantra Atma Sahasrara mantra, which is realization of oneself. She is a personification of spiritual knowledge. Mahavidya, Maha itself means exalted. And she is the one who represents exalted science. And Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya is sacred science. Bhaskara says it could also mean the Panchadashi mantra. The Vishnu Purana quotes, it says, O fair one, the sacrificial science, exalted science, secret science, and spiritual science. Devi, you are all these. You are the bestower of salvation. You are logic, Trayi, Varta, trade, and justice. And commentators on this say the meaning of the first four, namely sacrificial science, exalted science, science of secret, and spiritual science, mean actually science of action, science of devotion to deities, the science of mantras, and the science of Brahman. So they are 4 different sciences. So Sri Vidya is the most sacred science, which covers all this. Kama Sevita, I think we talked about this earlier in one of the earlier sessions. Worship by Kama. Kama is who? Kamadeva. Is Madana, the Hindu god of love. Manmata. Manmata is also considered a son of Lakshmi and Vishnu. And he was burned by Shiva and his body was reduced to ashes. So he's called Ananga. Ananga means without body. We covered this worship of Kamakshi earlier in one of the sessions. He was worshipped by Kama Sevitais. Ambal was worshipped by Kama. So, the very next one is Shri Sodasakshari Vidya. Sodakshari. Sodasakshari. What is Sodasam? 16. Shri Sodasa Akshari. The science of 16 syllabled mantra. Bhaskaraya says, he's quoting Gaudapada Sutra. He says this mantra actually consists of 28 syllables. But if we divide the mantra into 3 divisions, it becomes 16. The 28 letter mantra, Om is added in the beginning and Nama is added at the end. Without Om and Nama, it is called Shodasi. And with Om and Nama, it is called Mahashodasi. So, even though it has got 28 letters, it's called Shodasi or Shodasa Akshari, meaning 16 letters. Why is it so? Because the lines 4, 5, and 6 in this have 5, 6, and 4 bijas. They are called 3 kutas. The word mantranam is used in the plural to show that these are composed of 3 groups or 3 kutas. So Panchadasi letter has 15 letters of 3 kutas. First with 5, second one with 6, and third one with 4 bijaksharas. So it is 5, 6, and 4. Totally you're bringing up. So Panchadasi has 15 letters, even though it is called 16 letters. The normal form of Shodasi is to add Srim Bija at the end of Panchadasi. There are variations, Mahashodasi, Gukhya Shodasi, Saubhagya Panchadasi, and so on. You will find many variations with different bijas. They are practiced by different Guru Paramparas. The Shodasi mantra is known as Mantra Raj, the king of mantras. So many believe that Shodasi worship, it grants a sadhaka with both Iham and Param. That is, Iham means material and Param means spiritual benefits. Now let me briefly tell you the Maha Shodasi mantram, which has got, 6 lines starting with Maha Shodasi. I told you it starts with Om. First is Om, and second is Srim, Hrim, Klim, Aim, Sau. Third is Om, Hrim, Srim, 3 bijas. Fourth is Ka, E, E, La, Hrim, 5 bijas. Fifth line, Ha, Sa, Ka, Ha, La, Hrim, 6 bijas. And the last one, 6 is Sa, Ka, La, Hrim. It is got one more line, 7, which is Sau, Aim, Klim, Hrim, Srim, which has got 5 bijas. As I told you, the fifth one has got 6 bijas, and the fourth one has got 5 bijas, the second one 3 bijas. So these are roots. And lastly, the suffix is Namaha. So the first line of the mantra is 5 bijas. There are 3 bija, then Maya bija, then Kama bija, Vagbha bija, and finally Para bija. Shrim is known as 3 bija or Lakshmi bija. Shrim is providing auspiciousness, providing positive attitude. The bija is the root cause for faith, Shrim. Next to Shrim is Hrim, which is also known as Maya bija. Shrim is also known as Bhuvaneshwari bija. She is known as Bhuvaneshwari because she rules the earth, Next to Hrim is Klim, which is Kama bija. It draws divine energy, act like a magnet, power of attraction. Next to Klim is Aim, which is known as Vagbha bija. It is the bija of Saraswati. This bija is caused for spiritual intellect, Buddhi. Next to Aim is Sau, known as Para bija. It's known as Hriday bija. or Amrita Bija. He knows Nirvana Diksha. Finally, Nirvana means emancipation. So this is the Maha Shodasi Mantram, which starts from Om and goes on to end with Namaha. Okay, so that is an explanation for Sri Shodasakshi. Trikuta. Trikuta means three-peaked. Bhaskara says three means Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and three states also, Rajas, Tamas, and Tattva, and three seats, the three worlds, three qualities. So it could mean any of those three, which is got three peak, three kuta. Next is Kama Kotika, the spirit of Kama. Kama Parashiva, because it is essential quality of Shiva with Devi, which is Brahman itself. Next verse is Kataksha Kinkari Bhuta Kamala Koti Sevita Shirastita Chadraniba Bharat Tendu Dhanuprabha. Kataksha Kinkari Bhuta Kamala Koti Sevita. It's a long name, which is Amba is actually millions of Lakshmis who are subdued by glances. Shirastita, Shiras means head, Sita means resides. Ambal resides in the head, which is Brahmarandra. Chandraniba, Chandra is moon, Ambal is like moon. And Phalascedra, Phala is his forehead. She resides in the foreheads in the form of Bindu. Indradhanus Prabha. Indradhanus is referring to rainbow, you know. Rainbow. Ambal is rainbow hued, Vibgyar color. Hridayastha, we go to next one, which is 120. Hridayasthara Viprakya Trikona Dratipika Dakshayani Tatranti Daksha Yagya Vinashini. Hridayastha. Hridaya means Ambal resides in the heart. And Ravi Prakya. Ravi Prakya means resembling the sun. Three Konanta Deepika, the light within the triangle. The triangle. Which is the triangle? Triangle is a pericarp of the Mooladhara. Is a disk of fire. And that is called the Trikonatra. This is the below the head, you know, there's a fire. In the center of the eternally manifested Mooladhara, there is a fire. Similarly, in the heart, there is sun. In the head, below the Brahmandra, there is moon. Thus, you have the ancient mantra, which is threefold, three Konata Deepika. So, you have this. The Vishnu Purana also is quoted by Bhaskar Raya. He says, when the sun passes over either of the cities of the gods, his light extends to three cities and two intermediate points. When situated at an intermediate point, he illuminates two of the cities and three intermediate points. So this means that Ambal illuminates at a time the three cities which are the triangular form. A little bit of philosophy there. Dakshayani is the next word. Doctor of Daksha. Who was Daksha? Daksha was Prajapati. He was a Manasika Putra of Brahma. He had numerous daughters, including the youngest one named Sati. The word Sati derived from Sat, which means truth. Sati was truthful, virtuous, and she was a favorite child of Daksha. And she was the daughter of Daksha, so it's called Dakshayani. Like in Sanskrit, you have names aligned to the father. Like Rama is called Dasarathi, son of Dasaratha. Sita is called Janaki, daughter of Janaka. So Dakshayani loved Shiva and eventually married him, much against her father's wishes. And as Shiva's spouse, Dakshayani finds a place in Lalitha Sahasranamam. She was also responsible for the destruction of a great yajna that Daksha performed. We'll talk about it a little later. Then Daitya-hantri, slayer of Daityas. Word Daitya, derived from Diti, who was also a daughter of Daksha. She was married to Kashyapa Maharshi, and the children born to them were called Daityas. They were Asuras, like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, who were born to them. And Daityas is a common name applied to Asuras. As Ambal called many Asuras, like Bandasura, Mahishasura, Chanda, and Munda, she is described as Daitya-hantri, who is the slayer of Daityas. We are now coming to the last now, which is this number 600. Yes, this is 600. Daksha Yajna Vinasini, the destroyer of the sacrifice of Daksha. Bhaskaraya says there were two Dakshas. One was known as Prajapati, which I mentioned earlier, and the other was a human king, an incarnation of the former. And Shiva destroyed both of their sacrifices, and Devi was the instrument of destruction. So here, Dakshayani, she was the daughter of Daksha, and Daksha organized a very great yajna. It is narrated in various scriptures. And Daksha never liked his son-in-law. Many father-in-laws don't like their son-in-law. So here, Daksha never liked his son-in-law. And so he did not intentionally invite his daughter Sati and his son-in-law Shiva for the yajna. He wanted to insult them really. But Sati, still believed in her father. Daughters always believe their father, no matter how they are. So she said, she told Shiva, okay, let us go. No, Shiva said, no, we didn't get invitation, we should not go. Oh, Sati said, there could be some postal delay and all that. So we may not get that invitation. Doesn't matter, I'm sure he wants us. So if you are not coming, I will go. So she went to attend the event. In spite of Shiva's warning, you don't go, you will get insulted. And when she went there, actually, Daksha did not even welcome his daughter. In fact, insulted her and Shiva. Sati felt shattered completely. She said a beautiful verse there. I want to quote it, in Bhagavatam, which is actually dedicated to Vishnu. There is a beautiful verse on this Sati telling her father at the yajna. I like to quote it here. It's one of my favorite verses. Yadvayaksharam nama girir tambranam sakat prasankat agam ashuhu hanti tate pavitra kirti tamangal sasanam bhavanaho dveshti shivam sive taraha. Yadvayaksharam, the two letters Shiva, Yadvayaksharam. Even if you say it accidentally, Sakrit Prasankat, Agam Ashubu Hanti, you get Agam and sin, you get freed of sins instantly. Ashubu Hanti. Right? His orders never neglected. Shiva is always pure. No one else hates him but you alone. Bhavanaho Dveshti. You are Bhavanaho Dveshti Shivam Sivetaraha. You are the one who hates him. The last word, Shiva Taraha, Shiva Itara, means anti-Shiva. So she is unable to bear the humiliation and she jumps into the holy fire and ends her life. And on hearing this, Shiva gets furious. He ordered Bhutaganas to destroy the entire yajna and kill Daksha. So there are different versions of the story. But eventually what happens is this story forms the basis for the Shakti Pitas, the temples of the Hindu Divine Mother. The legend says that Lord Vishnu had cut Sati's body into 51 body parts using his chakra, and then these body parts fell on earth to become sacred sites. These came to be known as Shakti Pitas. Now, these Shakti Pitas also, as per Puranas, 51 Shakti Pitas represent 51 Sanskrit alphabets. They are all located in different parts of Southeast Asia, including India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Tibet, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Some of the most popular Shakti Pitas include Kamashi Temple, Kanchipuram, Chamundeshwari Temple, Mysore Temple, Sri Sailam, Kamakya Temple in Assam, and so on. And there are paintings and inscriptions which illustrate relationship with Ambal and Aksharas. There is a beautiful temple, Harasiddhi Temple of Ujjain, where the inner ceiling itself is painted with the Sanskrit alphabet corresponding to the Devis. And Ujjain Mahakali is an important Shakti Pitam. In Tiruvarur Shiva Temple, Tamil Nadu, where Kamalabha is there, behind the Sannidhi, there is an Akshara Pitam, which has got 51 letters of Sanskrit. And it is believed, sage Durvasa himself engraved the Matrika Bijam on this Pitam. So this is the greatness of Daksha Yajna Vinasini, Daksha Yajna Vinasam. The destruction caused the formation of 51 Shakti Pitas. So these are all spread all over Southeast Asia. So with this, I would like to end this session 11. This ends the 7th Kala of Saubhagya Bhaskaram. It is called Susumna. With this 600 Nama, we have now completed up to verse 120 and 600 Namas. Roughly about 60% of Lalitha Sahasranamam is completed in 11 sessions. It means an average of about 50 to 60 Namas per session, and probably we will carry it on for another 10 months or so to complete the Lalitha Sahasranamam. Today, we've covered 7 verses and 41 Namas. So we are now coming to the end of session 11. Let me conclude with our usual prayers. Sarva Mangala Mangalye, Shive Sarvartha Sadike, Sharanye Trayambake Gauri, Narayane Namostute, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Parasakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Parasakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om. Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Parasakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om. Om. Usti Pradam Paripalyantam, Nyayena Markena, Mahim Bahim Cha, Go Brahmne, Bigaso, Vasnityam, Loka, Samasta, Sukino, Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Mangalam Guru Shri Chandramaulishwar ke Shakti Ganapati Sharadambigai Shankaracharyar ke Shakti Ganapati Mahaganapati Sharadambigai ke Kala Bhairava ke Kali Durgai ke Veera Dheera Shura Hanuma Maruti Charanatirke Mallikarjunarke Selva Janardanarke Amba Bhavani Kambada Ganapati Chandi Chamundi ke Shri Krishna Bhagavan ke Shri Chakravasini ke Sita Rama Lakshmana Sahita Maruti Charanatirke Vidyaranyar ke Vidyashankar ke Vagishwari ke Vajradega Garuda Anjaneyar ke Shri Valli Deva Sena Sameta Subramanyar ke Tungabhadrai ke Shringanivasini ke Shringeri Puriyil Nilaittirukkum Engal Sharadambigai ke Satchidananda Shiva Abhinava Nrsimha Bharati ke Shri Chandrasekhara Bharati Guru Sarva Bhaumar ke Shri Chandrasekhara Bharati Guru Vidyatirthar ke Shri Chandrasekhara Bharati Guru Bharati Tirthar ke Shri Chandrasekhara Bharati Guru Vidushekara Bharati ke Mangalam Guru Shri Chandramaulishwar ke Shakti Ganapati Sharadambig Shankaracharyar ke Shakti Ganapati Mahaganapati Sharadambigai ke Shringeri Puriyil Niraindirukkum Engal Sharadambigai ke.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you again. Until we meet next month. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Om Shri Matre Namaha.